again, folks, and welcome back to this week's video. And this week we are heading to a brand new car boot we have never been to before. And this is just not another normal car boot. This car boot is special because this car boot starts at 11 AM. That's right, no more getting up at the crack of dawn. We can lay in and still go to this car boot. Let's get into it. Get pick up! Building the gangster! Run tricks! You all know by now I absolutely love car boots, but one thing I don't love is having to get up at the crack of dawn to get the best deals. So with this car boot, you haven't got to be there till 11 AM and they are strict. You cannot buy anything before 11 AM. They literally cordon off the car boot so no one can get there early. So I wanted to be there bang on 11 o'clock, ready to start. Let's go. All the way there though, before we head to the car boot, I just want to remind you folks to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content during the week, and I want you guys along for the ride. Now to the car boot. Here we are then, just after 11 AM, and we are in the car boot. I think a lot of people got here early, but it has got a strict 11 AM start, so I guess people just have to queue up beforehand. But as soon as we got there, it was manic. There was people everywhere. It was very busy, but straight away I was finding games, and at the end of the day, that is the main thing we're looking for. There was quite a few resellers at this car boot, people I have seen at previous car boots, but you know, some of these people I am starting to get a pretty good relationship with, so it's always worth checking through their games.
Did you go to...
This is not normally the kind of stand I would check out, but this thing really stood out to me. I really love these kind of vintage tabletop electronic games. First thing I always do is check the batteries. If there's corrosion, there is no point picking these up in my eyes. But also, if there's batteries, you can test if it works, which this one did. And even though it is one of the most annoying things I've ever heard, I absolutely love it. I love the fact it just looks so old. It just has that classic mid-80s look and feel. Definitely had to pick it up as it was super cheap. £4 on that? For me, I think this might be a first at a car boot PlayStation 5 games. I have not seen PlayStation 5 games before at the car boot, so I was amazed to see this one, even though I don't have a PlayStation 5. If the price is cheap, you know I can pick it up. It was to keep for the collection or to resell. Same was true of a couple of these games. I instantly spotted Modern Warfare. I realised I can sell that one pretty decently. And also Dying Light, as I don't have that on the PlayStation 4. I managed to get a really good deal for these two games, so really nice pickups. One to keep, one to sell. What's your game space?
I got a tenner on the PS5 ones and £3 on the PS4 ones.
£3. Gives you 2 for 5. This next stall had a really random selection of things. I just love seeing these old mobile phones. It's so weird how kind of the late 90s, early 2000s mobiles just never died out. They just seem to be keeping going. So yeah, there was a pretty good selection of games on this stall. The only problem was they were all priced, which is normally a warning sign for me. But I did actually manage to find a game or two that I had been looking for. You know, if I see Wii U games, I'm going to pick them up because you just never see them. And another game that really stood out to me was for the Xbox One. It's a game that I've been looking to buy for quite a long while. So the game I picked up normally sells for about £10, but here they were selling it for just £5. It is Sudden Strike 4 and it's the European Battlefields edition. And you know, this is a game which is still on Amazon for about £10. So to pick up for a £5 was a really good deal. And you know, there's not many kinds of these games on the Xbox, you know, these kind of strategy games. I did manage to bundle it with that Wii U game for £5 for both. I have a general rule of thumb where if I see something Nintendo or Mario branded, chances are if it's cheap I'm going to pick it up. So this kind of Switch game case brand new in the box was a bit of a no-brainer. You know, I'm not really going to put Switch games in it any time, but if nothing else, it's a cool display piece. You know, anything with Nintendo on in years to come is going to be worth more money than you probably pay for it now. Sometimes it is the weird things you see at car boots. It's always one of those things that kind of sticks out that you've never seen before. And I had no idea what this Euro truck thing was. I know it's a PC game. I was like, is this some kind of cool collector's edition? Once I finally opened it up, it was nothing. It was just like an empty box, which wasn't that exciting, really. One of the main things you always find you have to do at the Carboot is go through stacks of games. Especially with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, there is becoming so many games at the Carboot these days. But the thing is, there's so many kind of filler titles which aren't really worth picking up. Another thing I see all the time at the Carboot is vintage toys. I do collect a fair amount of vintage toys, but far and away, the one I see the most is Star Wars stuff. There is so much Star Wars stuff at Carboot. I am glad that I've pretty much managed to not go into an absolutely huge Star Wars collection, but one thing I do always have a soft spot for is lights. You know I love to put loads of different lights around the game, so I'm always looking out for new ones, especially cool ones like this one. As I said, you see Star Wars stuff all the time. There is a next stall full of Star Wars books, but this next stall coming up is probably the winner of the day. At first, it doesn't look like there's that much cool stuff there, but as I started to dig a little deeper, there was some awesome items. So the first thing that caught my eye was these comics and Assassin's Creed books. As you know, I've been on a bit of a comic binge in a minute. And speaking of comics, look at this amazing Thanos money box. And this Spider-Gwen as well. These are the kind of things I love to have dotted around the games room, just to kind of break up the wall of just games. I like to have cool little collectibles. These definitely fit the bill. As I said, this stall had a lot going on. It was kind of one of those stalls that you really had to look at things. It was so hard to take things in all at once. Like, I first hadn't even seen these Skylanders. They are something I don't really know about, same as these little tiny statue things. But these are the kind of things I love. I dug a little bit deeper, got in some boxes and found another one of these little Mario figures, as well as another Gears of War mystery mini. And the thing is with these, for ages I never saw them, and now I seem to be seeing them every week, which is cool, as I need to complete the set. I'm missing about 4 different figures. Sadly, this time did not go to plan. This is something I did not think I was going to see at the Carboot for probably around 10 years, an Xbox Series S. Seriously, what are the chances of seeing an Xbox Series S at a Carboot? And also, the thing is though, who would be crazy enough to take a risk on it? However much it costs, you have no guarantee this thing is going to work, but I tell you what, if you got a good price, maybe it could be worth the gamble. Earlier this year, I actually got rid of my entire VHS collection, and sod's law, now is when I will start to see really cool VHS tapes, such as this Sonic one. How cool is that? But this one, I could not resist. Look at the amazing graphics on this one. It's like vintage Nintendo. It's the Zelda that everyone hates. That kind of weird looking Zelda from like, I can't remember when this is from. It's just not the Zelda we all know and love. It's a weird one. Definitely had to pick it up for the weird aesthetic. As I said earlier, one thing you see a lot of at the Carboot is Star Wars toys, and especially vintage toys. These ones aren't really that old. They're kind of the more modern, up-to-date Star Wars stuff, which I just don't think is very, very collectible. And like, yeah, there was a weird selection of vintage toys here. Nothing that kind of sticks out for me. I collect for very few franchises, such as like Jurassic Park, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, nothing really too much. Also, another thing you see at the Carboots all the time in a minute is Lego, and it is super expensive normally. Again, you never know if bits are missing, but this is something you do not see every day. These are Advanced Dungeons and Dragons trading cards, and I knew for a fact these are worth a decent amount of money. I have looked at these before, and yeah, if the price was right, I was definitely going to pick these up. These are from 1993. There's no way to really know if they are fully complete, but there was a massive box of these, and the price, I had to pick these up. We were coming to the end of the Carboot, and you know, some stands are overwhelming, some stands have a lot of stuff, and then there's this stand. This is a lot of video games. Seriously, I've seen some CX stores with less video games than this, but there was just way too much to look at, and to be honest, it was absolutely overwhelming. There was a lot of kind of filler tiles. There was a lot of sun damage tiles. I think these are the kind of people that probably go to the car boots all the time. Their games sit out in the sun. They get damaged. They get damp. So, you know, if I'm going to buy games that kind of price, I'm probably going to do it at CX. I did kind of go through a lot of these pop vinyls because they had a pretty decent selection, and I'm still trying to complete my Disney Infinity, Marvel and Star Wars collection. I am down to like 5 or 6 figures I need now to get the complete set. I can just never find them, or if I do find them, normally the lightsabers are broken or something is broken on them. But I'm really hoping in the next few months I can get to the end of the Disney Infinity, Marvel and Star Wars collection. It's not even an expensive one. It's just getting lucky and finding the right figures. Soon I will get there. So that's it for the 11 AM Carboot. It was pretty manic. It was pretty stressful, to be honest, but it was nice to have a lay-in. Definitely would do it again, but yeah, it is a very, very busy one. But back to the games room. What an amazing car boot that was. And it was so nice not to get up at the crack of dawn on a Sunday to go to a car boot. But one thing I would say about it, because I think it was a little bit later, it was a bit manic. There was people everywhere. It was difficult to park, but I think it was worth it for the things we picked up this time. So let's check them all out. First thing we have then is this electronic baseball game, and this is from 1986. And you know, some people may hate these kind of games, but I am quite a fan of them. I just think they are kind of a classic old school thing. And it's just the fact this one speaks as well, which just makes it a little bit different. You know, they may not be the most fun things to play, but you just don't see things like that this often anymore. I got this for £4. Looking online, it even seems hard to get this in the UK. Like, the only ones I could really find were on eBay in America. So, looking to buy this online would be about £30, so pretty happy to pick this up for £4.
It's the pounder.
Even if it does never shut up. Next up, onto some video game pickups, and the first 2 games we picked up for both of the PlayStation 4. So we have Dying Light and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So I got both of these for just £5, which is a really good deal. But truth be told, I will probably be flipping both of these because Call of Duty you can easily get for about £12 to sell on eBay, and Dying Light is about an £8 to £10 game to sell on eBay. But here's the conundrum. This game I have no problem selling because I already have it in my collection. This game I'm playing at the moment on the Xbox One. So, question for you folks watching, do you keep the same game on multiple consoles, or you just own one copy of a game on one console? Let me know in the comments down below. It's really rare to see a game that you are specifically looking for at the car boot. So imagine my surprise when I saw this copy of Sudden Strike 4. This is kind of an RTS strategy game I've been looking to play on the Xbox One for absolutely ages. It's just one of those games I've never got round to buying. Normally on Amazon it's about £10 to £15. To be able to pick it up for £5 at the car boot is an absolute bargain. Also bundled in with that game, I got this copy of Skylanders for the Wii U. As you know, if I see a Wii U game, I'm always going to pick it up. But the first rule of car boots, you always check the box. Thankfully, this one is not empty, but the game inside is Skylanders Trap Force for the Xbox One, not Skylanders Imaginators for the Wii U. Another rule of car boots, what you do is remember what games you actually own. Because if I reach up here, we will find Skylanders Imaginators complete in the box for the Wii U. So, not my proudest moment at the car boot. If you're at the car boot, it's always worth looking out for branded Nintendo stuff. If for not your own collection, to resell, as it always fetches a decent price, especially if it's for the Nintendo Switch, as people are always looking for accessories and bits, such as this premium game card case, which is Super Mario and Nintendo branded. So this is not the kind of thing I would usually use because, you know, I keep my games in boxes. Crazy things, which games come in boxes? They belong in boxes, but for £1, definitely happy to add this to the collection. But if this kind of thing you see at the car boot, pick it up. You can flip these on eBay, really easy. Speaking of Nintendo and weird items, we have this Captain N the Games Master and Legend of Zelda VHS tape. I have never seen this thing before. It is from 1989 and it looks weird. I don't think I'll ever watch this, but for the artwork alone and the description on the back, this thing is just an oddity. And these are the kind of things I like to pick up at the car boot because you don't see weird stuff like this all the time, so when you do, pick it up. When I'm at the car boot, I really like to try and bundle things up. So from this store, I managed to get a pretty exciting bundle of stuff. So first of all, we have these 2 branded Marvel money boxes. I especially love this kind of more comic book style Thanos one, as well as this Spider-Gwen one. So I got these two and some other bits for £10 off the same seller. Also, I found out he does have a kind of vintage toy shop in Norwich, so I'll definitely be heading to that very soon. The next thing I got in that bundle was this copy of Guitar Hero on Tour for the Nintendo DS, and it is complete in the box. This may not be the best way to play Guitar Hero, but I just love kind of the artwork for these, and just having it complete in the box is a real bonus. The other thing I got was this Gears of War mini mystery, but sadly the mystery did trick me. I did check it, but sadly I did already have this one in the collection. But if you look on the back, there's about 15 figures. I'm about 10 in now, so most of the way there. Final pickup this time is these Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1993 collector's cards. These are nearly 30 years old, are in absolutely amazing condition. It is the full set, and you may think £25 is quite a lot of money for these, but these sell for a lot more. I have seen these go for £50 to £75 for the whole set, so I'm really happy to add these into the collection. Not something you'd really expect that I'd collect, but I'm a big fan of Dungeons & Dragons and trading cards, so these are a bit of a no-brainer. There we have it then, that was the 11 AM Carboot, and if you're interested, it is every Saturday just outside Aylsham in Norfolk. I definitely recommend checking it out, but get there a little bit earlier as the parking can be a bit of a nightmare, but it is worth it not to have to get up about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning to go to a Carboot. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please hit that like button, subscribe for new videos every Saturday live at 5, and as always, keep playing the game. See y'all soon.